This house might look normal on the outside, but it's what's inside that makes it very unusual. Let's take a tour.
Well, welcome. Finally, the day is here. You guys get our home tour. And I want you to first notice that we have a really cool front porch where Doug and I really love to hang out on our front porch swing. We love our hummingbirds. We sit out here for like hours. I love it. And I watch those hummingbirds. And then Molly likes to hang out here. This is like her favorite place because she's like the king of the world. She gets to watch all the animals and anything, predators coming in, and she hangs out and gets out of the sun. So come on in. Right when you come in, we have a nice little place where we can take off our shoes, hang up our hat, and our coat. So as we go around on the little house tour, you're going to notice that we don't have any outlets anywhere in this home. It's a totally off-grid home, no electricity. So let's come on over here and look at my cool island. And then here I have a great big island. In our last home, I didn't really have a lot of counter space at all. And so I really wanted a place that I could prepare my foods, bring the harvest from the garden, prepare, do all my ferments, because cooking is a big part of our lives and I love to prepare, and it's nice to have a big open space that you can utilize. So I really enjoy this. Since we don't have electricity, I can't cook on a stove like you guys can cook, and I don't have a stove that can track me either these days. But I do have a stove. It's called a wood-burning cook stove. For the past 17 years, Doug and I have used a wood-burning cook stove. This is a Grand Comfort Kitchen Queen, which is wonderful. It works probably toward the end of fall all the way into spring. Just in May was probably the last time, end of May was the last time we used this thing. And so in the winter, it's used, and in the summer, I just put a towel over it because I don't want it to rust on the top, on the cooktop. And then I use it to put all my ferments from the garden, you know, if I have any produce, anything we use on here until it can be used again in early fall. And another thing that I really wanted in the new home was one of those big country kitchen sinks, the big sinks, so I can do dishes, because in our last home, we only had kind of one of those bar sinks. And I do a lot. I have those big stainless steel bowls, so it was really nice to get one of these great big, you know, country kind of sinks. And then we didn't even have any cabinets, so we had an addition of some cabinets. I have a little bit more counter space, so it makes it a little easier. And then the one thing that I adore is our window that I can look outside at our waterfall, and it's just really cool. I look at the hummingbirds, and it's just beautiful to do my dishes because I do a lot of dishes. Now over here, I have a refrigerator, and it is a little different. It's not like a refrigerator that most people would have because it's fueled by propane, kind of like the RV refrigerators do. And I actually love it. It works great. It's a full-size refrigerator, and I can fit as much as you guys have in your house. Here's our live edge kitchen table. I like it because it's very spacious, and it's a great place we can sit and look out the back window here and watch the waterfall. And you guys might notice how bright it is. I mean, how do we have lights in here? Because it looks like it's pretty light. In our old house, it was kind of darker. I didn't have a lot of windows in there, so I really wanted some windows to bring a lot more plants in here and just kind of have that brightness so I could see better. We installed these skylights, and they light up our whole house. It's crazy. Even on a full moon, the house is lit up. Right. It's sort of like, you guys remember, let's make a deal. What's behind door number 1 or number 2 or number 3? Let's see what's behind this door. This is probably, I told you, my wood-burning cook stove is my favorite part of the home, but this might be it might be right there at the top with it. And this is my outside kitchen. You guys remember in our old home, in our old cabin, we had a detached outside kitchen. And I really kind of always wanted one attached to my home so I could just go and come. And so what we did, we made it a little bit smaller, and I love it because it's screened in all around. Doug and I will eat all of our meals out here because in the summer we don't have, you know, air conditioning or anything. So we get the beautiful cross breezes, so we sit out here, spend a lot of time. There's a beautiful tree here. We watch the birds. It's very soothing on our souls. And then as well, in the hot months, I do all my processing out here. I have stainless steel table here. I can do all my work out here. I have many ways that I can cook. You know, I have propane, you know, burners, and I have grills out here. So I do a lot of different work, as well as I have a propane oven that I can bake, because a lot of times, you know, I don't have my wood burning stove, so I don't have the ability to bake, but I have my little propane oven that I can bake out here. I can make bread, I can make cookies. So this is a great place where I spend a lot of time. So between the stove and here, I might have to say they're my favorite parts of the home. Oh, even back in the olden days, I mean, that's where people lived. They would hang out on their screened-in porches and, you know, just hang out, talk. Great thing, you don't have to worry about the bugs. You get a beautiful breeze. So, I mean, we're out here all the time. So you guys have seen this, probably most of our live shows. This might be my third favorite part of the whole house, is our buffalo. I can't tell you, when you sit on this thing, it's sort of like getting a warm hug. I love it. It's very comforting. It feels good. It's very grounding, because everything in our home that I put in here, I wanted everything to be natural. Wood, fur, wool, tile, you know, just everything natural. I didn't want any plastic or any artificial anything in here. I wanted it to be as close to nature as I could. And as well as I wanted a lot of natural light to come in, because we don't have electricity. So having like a big picture window here in the front was really, really important too. All right, next up we have our bathroom. So if you guys have been following us for a while, you guys know that we basically pooped in buckets. We did the manure composting system. And when we moved onto this property, there was an existing septic, so we just decided to tap into that. Now, if you look over here, we have our shower, which is another cool one of my favorites. It's made with copper pipes, and if you guys have been following the channel, you know how much and how beneficial we talk about copper a lot. So we have copper pipes. Doug had made one of these on our old cabin, and he just kind of made it a little bit better, because the last one had two pipes, and this one we made three, and he just drilled holes in there, and it comes down sort of like you're in a waterfall. It's just beautiful. It's wonderful. I love taking showers. And then you can see the bright light in here. It's basically blinding me in here. But this is another one of the skylights. There's no light on in here whatsoever, and it brightens up, especially in the bathroom. We noticed that in a lot of the Amish homes, they had them in their like area where they would have their medicine cabinet, or they comb their hair, and like a sink where they would wash their face and things. So this works out really great, and we have a lot of bright light in here, and it works wonderful. And we even have a copper sink. So when we're moving from one place to another, we want to try to change things and make things better. And the one thing we didn't have a place for was if we had guests come, and we always end up having people wanting to come visit, or things happen, or your grandkids. So we do have an extra room, and it's neat because I utilize the room. I use it as a workout area. I call it, this is my ladies' dressing room. This is my room. I put all my clothes in this room. We have like a Murphy bed in here where, you know, I can still have a room in here, and we can close it up. So it works out great like that. And so now we have this extra room that we could use for a lot of different things. So here's a question we get a whole lot on our channel, is about what do you do without air conditioning and the humidity and all this, because we're in Missouri. It's very humid here. So what I do is, see these bags? They're like little damp bin bags, and they collect, see, as you can see this down here, that's water. Because what it's doing is collecting the moisture in the air. What I did find at the old cabin, you kind of learn things the hard way. Sometimes you would see in the middle of summer, you would see kind of mold and stuff getting on the cabinets. So what I started doing is, you know, getting these moisture absorbers down in our root cellar. I would even buy big bags that you could get at the feed store, and I would put them in pillowcases down in the root cellar over a 5-gallon bucket to kind of get some of that moisture, as well as putting these throughout the house. And they make a tremendous difference, because you could feel the humidity on your sheets. You could feel it on the floor. And so when I use these, it makes a great, great difference. I know a lot of people put them in their basements or their closets, or if you have RVs, but in our home, we definitely have to use them here too in the middle of summer. All right, and I have to show you guys, here's another thing I love, is we made these live edged bookshelves to put our books in, because Books are important. You guys need to remember and start collecting your books because they're going to erase history. We need it written down, so we keep our books here. And then I'm going to bring you in and show you the master bedroom. So in the bedroom in our old house, we just had a couple dressers. So in this house, we have closets because I never had closets in our old house. Doug made them out of cedar. And they're very nice. They have the nice cedar walls. They smell really good. This is Doug's closet. This is his room. I have my room, our dressing room. And I love it because it does smell really good. And what do they say about cedar? It gets rid of moths, right? And we've had many family and friends spend the night here, and they say they've had the best night's sleep that they've ever had. And we attribute that to not having electricity in this house running through the home. Have you guys ever read the book called Dirty Electricity or The Invisible Rainbow? And if you haven't, I would highly recommend you guys get a copy of that book. This is our hot water tank, and I'm going to let Doug explain to you how it works.
All right, so that's our hot water heater. I'm going to show you guys kind of how it works. All you do is put the wood in there, and then you get the fire going. So as you guys can see, there's a thermostat right here to tell you how hot the water is getting because it does have a blow point. And then right here is a cylinder where the firewood goes. And then you can see the outside has the chamber for the water. So the water rotates around the cylinder, and that's what gets it hot. There's the copper pipe that's the inlet water. It comes in and goes up to the bottom of the tank right there. See, you can see it right there. And then the outlet water is on top because, the hot water is going to come out of the top because hot water and hot air rises. Then that hot water goes out, down, and then into the plumbing system for the house. So we can have hot water at our faucet. We can have hot water for our shower. And just to let you guys kind of know how the propane refrigerator works, it's a no vent system, and you can see on the back of it, it has several baffles. And the gas, the natural gas comes in, the propane gas comes in from the floor there and then right into the back of the refrigerator. And it has a flame that is burning that creates the cold air. So that's how that whole thing works. That's our propane tank, and it holds 1,000 gallons. That propane tank will last that refrigerator 7 to 8 years of operation. It's pretty good. The other thing that I want to show you guys real quick is you probably noticed these lights hanging above the sink. And they're powered by a Milwaukee battery. It just hides inside of there. And then you just have a pull cord right here. And that turns on the lights. I also keep a Milwaukee light here in the corner, just in case we need a little bit more light. But mostly we use candles in the house from the MissouriTeaCompany.com, 100% beeswax candles, hand poured, small batches. And then we also use our oil lamps just like we used to all the time. Those are our real main source of lights.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us today and visiting our new home. Doug and I have so much more we want to show you about this property. There's a lot more we're going to do, and so make sure you're subscribed, and we will see you guys on the next one. Bye.